Welcome to Bay Area Vista. I'm Janice Edwards. We are on location for the NAWBO Silicon Valley Crystal Chair Award. We hope you enjoy the show. Can we first give a round of applause to our women business owners? In deep appreciation and celebration. That is why we are here tonight. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the second annual Crystal Chair Awards Gala, hosted by the, yes, feel free to whoop it up. That's what we're here tonight to celebrate. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We are celebrating the National Association of Women Business Owners Silicon Valley chapter with this wonderful gala this evening, and I am so excited to be back with you for the second year as your MC. My name is Janice Edwards. I'm the host and executive producer of Bay Area Vista, which I launched 16 years ago on NBC Bay Area. I'm also the president and CEO of Edwards Unlimited, and we produce high-quality videos for entrepreneurs, corporations, and nonprofits, working in association with the amazing Walter Colby, who is on videotape tonight. So thank you, Walter, for all your great work. It is my pleasure to introduce to you someone who is so dedicated, inspirational, and dynamic. Of course, I'm speaking of Maxine Goulding. As many of you know, Maxine has been a NAWBO Silicon Valley member since 2006. She's held many roles on the board, including this, her third time as president. In 2003, Maxine opened her business, California Special Occasions, or CSO, which is based in San Jose. She specializes in personal, business, and fundraising events. She holds 2 certificates in event planning, and she has a heart of gold. Please welcome Maxine Goulding.
I want to tell you about the meaning of the crystal chair. Our founder, Susan Hager, founded NAWBO in 1975, and she got a group of ladies together and said, let's meet because we're not being treated fair in corporate America. So her motto is, what she believed in was for us to bring a chair to the table. And if we don't have a table, build it and bring other women with you. So that's what this is what the Crystal Chair Award means. Now this event does not happen just by me. I have some wonderful ladies that I work with, and I'd like to have them stand, please, and I'll announce your name. As I announce your name, stand, and then you can sit down whenever you want. So I'd like to start out with our President-elect, Flora Harris. Our immediate past president, Monica Miles, and also our corporate partner director. We have Vandana Agrawal. She is our public policy director. Jennifer Dizon, our treasurer, and much more. Tony Julian, program director. She's keeping us running. Griselda Quesada Chavez, International Affairs Department. Karen Hebert, our Superwoman, Membership Director.
I'm Janice Edwards. Here on Bay Area Vista, we love to talk with people who make positive contributions to our community. And this particular segment is called our Bay Area Vista Uplifting Spotlight, focusing on Lyft driver Erin Kennedy. Erin, what a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, certainly. Now, you began driving with Lyft in the beginning. So tell me what those days were like.
It was a big adventure. Everyone really truly became my friend. I was their new friend with a car. I have been in the design industry for about 15 years up to that point, and commissioned sales rep. and recently divorced with 3 kids, and I needed to find a way to supplement my income. And I was already out and about in the Bay Area every day, so if there was a way to make that happen and I could bring in some additional money, that would be amazing. Having the additional source of income has been unbelievable because now I've got my oldest graduated from college.
Congratulations.
My middle is still in college, and my youngest is getting ready to finish. And it just having the flexibility and another way to have money coming in on my hours, on my irregular schedule, has been fantastic.
What's the longest ride that you've ever given a passenger?
Oh my goodness. The longest ride was to Santa Barbara from SFO.
Wow.
There was someone who was desperately needing to get to a parent-teacher conference, and it was very important, and I'm a parent, so I get it. I understand. We got to talk for the next 5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
But she was very, very thankful and very gracious, and that it was a wonderful ride. It was a beautiful day.
And so she got to the conference on time?
She got to her parent-teacher conference on time, yes.
Wow.
And every time I get in my car to do this on my own time, it is one big adventure after the next.
Hello, everyone. Well, I am so delighted to be here this evening, and we have just an amazing keynote presentation tonight. 2 really good friends of mine, Clark and Diane. They are just a dynamite powerhouse couple. Diane worked for the San Jose Police Department for 26 years. She worked her way through the ranks, starting her career as a police officer and promoting through the various ranks to Assistant Chief of Police, overseeing the day-to-day operations for the entire police department. In August of 2011, Diane was selected as the 13th Chief of the Hayward Police Department and the first woman to ever lead the organization. Diane coaches and mentors professionals who aspire to promote and grow as future leaders in law enforcement, and she also oversees the family business and partnerships with her father and her husband. Clark is a retired naval officer who served in the U.S. Army Navy SEALs for 22 years. Whew. I know. And it doesn't look like you spent a day there. It's amazing. As a member of the elite counterterrorism unit, Clark had an exceptional and unique perspective of leadership and the degree of motivation required to excel in high-stress situations. These experiences provided him insight into the different leadership training and learning methodologies. Clark and his wife are the founders of Trident Professionals, a company dedicated to training today's leaders for the fast-paced, high-stress environments of tomorrow. So let us please welcome these 2 amazing people, and let's also give them a huge round in advance of their presentation for their service to our community and to our country.
So tonight, we struggled finding the right topic. And what do you share? What is good for everybody? Something that everybody can take something away from. So we decided to talk about something that's very near and dear to our hearts, which is relationships. And we came up with some tips for relationships with couples with big personalities.
Share honestly, but softly. Good communication is a 2-way process. When there are things that need to be said, we must be careful to not assault each other in the process. Just because we have something to say that might be very truthful and extremely accurate doesn't give us the right to use it as a weapon against our partner. On the other hand, it's just as damaging to think that we're doing the relationship a favor by not saying anything at all. When we withhold our true and genuine thoughts, it begins to fester and eat away at the relationship, and it creates contempt. When we have something to say, we must work diligently to create an environment that's safe and where our words can be received in a way that's sort of in a context of love and in care, if you will. When words come out as critical or as in some sort of a judgmental way, they're never well received. Our words should be soft and subtle, and they should come from a position of love for our partner. While the speaker has a huge responsibility, the listener is equally as responsible. When we listen, it is essential. It is essential to remind ourselves that the person who's sharing with us loves us.
Check your ego at the door. Colin Powell once said, never stand your ego too close to your position, because if your position goes, your ego might just go with it. The bottom line is, we all have egos. Most of them require a lot of maintenance, and they're pretty delicate. Unfortunately, they're easily bruised in relationships because of the intimacy and the time and the closeness that develops. Our egos get hurt very easily. Both members of a relationship have a responsibility for the care and the feeding of each other's ego. When it's done well, it shows that we care truly about our partner. So how do we do this? Well, one of the things that we recommend is eliminate the word I and you from your conversations and replace it with we. See, we have a tendency to use the word I when we want to take credit for. And we have a tendency to use the word you when we want to place blame. By replacing it with we show that we care more about the relationship. If we're truly in a partnership, then any emotion should be shared by both. Together, we win. Together, we lose. Together, we're right. Together, we're wrong. Together, we're good. Together, we're bad. So check your ego at the door. Join the partnership. When you do this, you'll be showing that you care more about the relationship than you do about winning and losing, or being right or being wrong.
Relationships are complicated, and we're always going to have glitches. But the win is not in compounding those issues by losing control. Loss of control turns small issues into huge issues. When we lose control, I, have a tendency to start laundry listing every single grievance that we've ever had in our relationship suddenly becomes the topic of the conversation. And so literally what we were arguing about is no longer relevant. We never get to it. The danger here is that we lose control of the situation, and everything that we need to talk about gets overlooked.
Oh, you'll like this one.
Not so much.
Don't compete with your significant other. Now that sounds pretty obvious, and it sounds pretty easy. But what you have to realize is that you're all here because of your highly competitive nature. You're successful because of your highly competitive nature. You can't help but compete. That's why you're as good as you are. As Tony mentioned, my wife works out a little bit. 7 days a week, to be exact. Now, 2 of those days, she'll actually argue with that, because 2 of those days are actually what they call a recovery day. All right, so on a recovery day, she only works out for an hour. Yeah, and it's usually consists of cardiovascular work, just to work the muscles and get the blood going, get your heart rate up a little bit. So one day, while I'm laying on the couch, watching TV, eating potato chips, she walks through and she says, "Honey, I have to do a 5K run today. Would you mind going with me? It would just be a nice, easy 2 laps around the neighborhood." "Sure, honey, I was a Navy SEAL. What the heck? I can do this, right? Nice, easy run around the neighborhood. I'm here for you." So I get my shoes on, and we go out, and we start our nice, easy run around the neighborhood. And it actually did start out as a nice, easy run. So So as I'm going and I'm just starting to get my breath, all of a sudden I notice she's pulling ahead a little bit. So I run to catch up with her a little bit. And she runs ahead a little bit, and I run to catch up with her a little bit. By the time we finish the first lap, we're pretty much in an all-out sprint. As hard as we can go. We're coming back around on the final lap, coming to the front of the house. Get to the front of the house, I stop. Not sure if I'm going to pass out in the yard or just puke in the middle of the street. Haven't made up my mind yet. She's 10 paces, 12 paces ahead of me. She runs through. I'm trying to stay conscious, and I look up and see her coming back with me with her hands on her hips. Why were you running so fast, honey? Evidently, I was setting the pace from 10 yards behind her. I did not even know that was possible, but I was doing the pace setting that day. The point is that neither of us set out that day for that kind of a run. It was not intentional. She didn't want that kind of run. I didn't want that kind of run, for sure. But it happened. That's the way it is when you're super highly competitive. And like I said, you're successful because you're highly competitive. Competition is a great stimulus. It drives us, it motivates us, it makes us who we are, and it makes us successful. But when it comes to relationships, it's extremely dangerous. What starts out as harmless fun turns into cutthroat competition. The trouble occurs when we produce a me against you competitive environment, rather than the we environment that we already discussed. Competition, by its very nature, produces a winner, and it produces a loser. And if you do that too often in a relationship, it's going to hurt the relationship. Be careful. Don't compete with your significant other. Our prayer for you is lots of laughter. Thank you very much.
We should have another round of applause for Diane Clark. They did an amazing job. Thank you so much. I don't know about the rest of you, but I was over there, nudging my husband and holding his hand a little bit. So it was good. I'm honored to congratulate my friend, Kim Tucker, of All Reasons Moving, NAWBO member for over 15 years, as our Woman of Distinction for 2018.
First, I wanted to thank NAWBO for this award. When Maxine first told me that I had been nominated, I was surprised, but I was also very honored. I was honored to be recognized by this group of women who I honestly and truly admire and respect so much. And I've been a member, I think, for over 15 years, but for as long as I can remember. I'd also like to thank some of my family who's here tonight. My husband Tom, who is very supportive of me and even when I make decisions that he doesn't agree with, kind of like what you guys are saying. But we're still together, so it's all good.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
What were your thoughts when you found out you were going to receive this award?
Actually, I was very surprised and honored also. I spent a little time thinking about that, but there's a lot of women in this group that I really admire, and so I just feel really honored to be recognized. It's nice.
Tell us about your business.
I own a moving and storage company. We started off 27 years ago just doing local moving, and we now are a global company doing long distance, international. We basically go all over.
This honoree is an organizational consultant whose mission is to support, sustain, and strengthen effective leadership. She has a PhD, has 3 masters. This honoree is just the perfect candidate for this award, the Women's Advocate Award.
It is my honor to present and welcome Dr. Mary Hyland. Please give her a round of applause.
Oh my, well, I just have to say that when Maxine called and told me about this, I was flabbergasted, humbled, and honored. I love NAWBO and everything NAWBO stands for.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What were your thoughts when you were told that you were going to receive this award?
Well, I was surprised. I just, I guess I feel unworthy. I didn't expect it or have any anticipation that I would be viewed really that way. So it was quite an honor to be thought of as a women business advocate, because it's in my heart, but I guess I just don't realize that it shows.
Well, clearly it does. Tell me about your business and how you started Hyland Consulting.
I started Hyland Consulting after leaving a very long career as an executive in the nonprofit sector. And Hyland Consulting is all about unleashing the potential of nonprofit boards. I consult with executive directors and their boards to make them effective in their roles, strengthen their partnership. And I've brought that expertise actually to NAWBO. I work with NAWBO National with the boards of NAWBO chapters all over the country.
So it's my great pleasure to give this last award. It's the Crystal Chair Award, and it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. This goes to a woman she's dedicated a lot of time to this organization. Not only NAWBO Silicon Valley, but NAWBO California. She has been president of both those chapters. The NAWBO California chapter is a consortium of 10 chapters here in California. She also is the treasurer for NAWBO Silicon Valley, and she's the treasurer for NAWBO California. This woman has energy, which I don't know where she gets it, but she smiles all the time. She's a CPA for Hood and Strong. Not only did Jennifer build her own table, she has brought other women with her. And I want to thank her very much for the time, expertise, and resources that Jennifer gives us. So I'd like to welcome Jennifer Dizon upstage, please.
One of the things about Hood and Strong is that Hood and Strong has always been gender blind. We've always welcomed all diversity, all genders to the table, and I never had to build a table at Hood and Strong. I always had a chair, and for that I'm very grateful.
What advice would you offer someone who's in business and might be struggling and needs some encouragement or some sound strategic plan for success?
I think particularly with NAWBO, we have a wonderful group of business owners, many in many different professions. Seek out advice. Seek out those that have done this before you. Even though your size of your business may vary, the issues are similar. So if you have a 500 company, 500 person firm, a 10-person firm, everyone has to deal with personnel issues. Everyone has to deal with finding space. Everyone has to deal with finding customers, dealing internationally. So find a peer group and someone that you can trust and seek their knowledge and use those resources.
Today, in this uplifting spotlight, we're focusing on Lyft driver Mimi Fan. Mimi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Janice. Happy to be here.
Oh, so glad to talk with you. I mean, I've heard so many great things about you because you are someone who goes above and beyond to really give back to our communities. How did you first start working with Lyft?
being a single mom can be a little challenging. So actually one day I was talking to a colleague at work, and he had mentioned that he had driven for a little bit yesterday and made great money. And I said, what, drive? What do you mean drive? He says, well, I drive for a ride share, and it's called Lyft, you know, the pink mustache. And I had no idea that that's what it was. I'm from San Francisco. I am a local girl, and I know the streets of San Francisco pretty well. So it just made sense. So I applied, and September 2013 was when I gave my first ride, September 15th, 2013. And I just fell in love. Soon afterwards, because I was such a highly rated driver, I got an invite to become a mentor, which is to essentially train drivers to welcome them into the Lyft community. I come from an immigrant family. You know, my family had their own businesses, and you know, because they had their own businesses, they really put me to work. Since I was 14 years old, they wanted me to stay out of trouble. My mom is, she comes from, you know, the beauty industry and has many nail salons in San Francisco. And, you know, she started putting me in a salon, answering phones at 14 years old. And I think that's what really, you know, kept up this great work ethic. But at the same time, I was able to connect with people and talk to people and be social. Most oftentimes, I found that a lot of my passengers really truly enjoyed needed really an ear to listen to them. There are often times where I think people are really lonely and they may not have as many people to talk to. And, you know, hence, you know, maybe, or talk to that won't give judgment to anything that you would say. If I've really affected them, any of my passengers, you know, in a positive way, then I feel that I've done my job.
You know, this is a great event, and we're really excited to be able to showcase business women in Silicon Valley.
Wow, the energy was just excellent. Everyone was having so much fun, the laughter, the joy, the lessons learned, the business relationships built and just reinforced were just excellent. Thank you, NAWBO, for putting this event together and you know, bringing wonderful people together today.
He's my everything. He's my best friend, and I just can't wait to spend the rest of my life with him.
Do you want to add anything?
Oh, just very sweet. I love you.
I love you more.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
no,
no. I love you more.
And that's our show. I'm Janice Edwards. What an incredible evening celebrating women business owners. We hope that you enjoyed the show. And thank you for all that you do to make our Bay Area and our world a great place to be. Please join us again next time. We look forward to seeing you then.